Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for these character sheets and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for less existential crises next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Woody and Buzz, the two best toys you could find under the tree this year. Unlike most toys you lose and forget about, these two will cross hell and high water to get back to you. There's actually a lot of similarities between them and Chucky. Hey, there's your plot hook. Woody and Buzz have to stop Chucky. Now I'm your DM too.
3, 2, 1!
Reach for the sky.
Let's start off with Woody. He was Andy's first toy after all. First, we need to be a cowboy, which means that we're gonna ride a horse and never interact with a cow. Next, we need that lasso, locking people's movement by wrapping them up nice and tidy. Finally, we need to delegate, telling other people what to do and lying to them to maintain our position of political power. Woody is kind of mean in the first movie. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Charisma will be number 1, you're the leader of the gang, and the leader of a fictional gang. In the fictional story that created you and provided the basis for your soul. Dexterity next, it's useful for saves against falling off of bullseye, or maybe even a faster mount, like a rocket. Wisdom after that, it's useful for relating to bullseye, but not for relating to rockets. Follow that up with strength, people tend to dangle off of ledges for you to hold on to. It's weird how often that happens. The constitution is a bit low. You're basically made out of stuffing and will dump intelligence. You're not a spaceman, you're a simple cowboy who's best friends with a spaceman. There isn't a race for toys, but you're also sort of just a person, and the Woody from Woody's Roundup is presumably a normal human in his world, but this is all a bunch of head-scratching madness. We're just going to use custom lineage. With that, you can take a feat, like Mounted Combatant, giving you advantage on attacks against creatures smaller than the creature you're mounted on. You can take hits for your mount, and your mount takes half damage on failed dexterity saves and no damage on successful ones. That basically gives your mount free evasion, a 7th level ability for free, and 2 other things. I love this feat because I love my mounts. Bump your charisma with your 2 free points, take persuasion for your skill of choice, and build your own background for deception and performance skills. You're a leader, a liar, and a player on the stage of life, or I guess a player on Andy's bedroom floor. We'll kick things off as a fighter. They're a little basic, but the most basic toys leave the most room for your imagination to take over, making them the best toys. Grab athletics and acrobatics for your skill of choice. The dueling fighting style to add 2 to the damage of a weapon you're wielding one-handed. A lasso is most likely a whip in D&D with a bit of extra reach and finesse. It's a funky little weapon. You also get second wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest. Healing a toy is pretty easy. You just stitch them back up, easy peasy lemon squeezy. You can even use lemon to clean stuff off. Second level fighters get an action surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. Use it for another attack or to get some movement to climb up on Bullseye's back. I wish we didn't have to spend so much movement mounting our horse. Third level fighters don't have to spend so much movement mounting their horse if they're a cavalier, because cavaliers are born to the saddle, giving you advantage on saves to stay on your mount, and you can saddle up with 5 feet of movement instead of half. You can also grab another skill like animal handling to get along better with the snake in your boot, and you get unwavering mark, letting you pick a creature you hit with an attack to have disadvantage on attacks against anyone other than you until the start of your next turn. If they end up attacking someone else, you get to hit them with a special bonus action attack next round, and you can add extra damage equal to your fighter level. Tell Sora to stand back. You've got this. Yeah, it's another Kingdom Hearts build, baby. 4th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Bump your charisma and wisdom modifiers because odd numbers are bad numbers. They don't do anything useful for you. But raising your wisdom and charisma will help you with animal handling and persuasion checks so you can get along better with all the toys. 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action. Violence isn't really your thing, but imagine a Cabbage Patch Kid wanted to stab Andy. You'd whack that dude, right? 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Bump your dexterity for better whip tricks and to break out of grapples. The neighbor kid is doing some wild experiments on toys. You don't want him holding you. I'll point out though, Sid is actually just a pretty creative kid. If the audience didn't know that the toys were alive, he wouldn't seem all that bad. Really, the only objectively mean thing Sid does is take his sister's toys without permission. Anyway, 7th level cavaliers get warding maneuver, letting you add a d8 to a creature's AC while they're within 5 feet of you as a reaction, and amount of times per day equal to your constitution modifier, minimum of 1, which is good when you only have 0 constitution. Even if the hit gets through, you give the target resistance. Use this to keep your stuffing on the inside or to save that spaceman Andy likes so much. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Keep pushing your dexterity up. Falling off your horse is super embarrassing, and it boosts your AC, since I'm pretty sure cowboys don't wear plate mail. That's a Bailey School Kids book. 9th level fighters get Indomitable, letting you reroll a failed saving throw wants a prolonged rest. Between this and Born to the Saddle, you're basically glued to Bullseye's back. If you spend too much time at Sid's, you could get literally glued to Bullseye's back. 10th level Cavaliers get Hold the Line, letting you lasso up some bad guys and stop them from getting away. You get to make opportunity attacks anytime a creature moves within 5 feet of you, even if they don't leave your threatened area, and when you hit them with an opportunity attack, you set their speed to 0. Pairing this with the extra reach of the whip, and you've got a lasso, that would be a real hassle, it'd be inconvenient. And now that we have that, let's jump over to Ranger. First level Rangers get another skill like Survival to find your way back to Andy's after he leaves you at Galaxy Pizza. You can also choose a favorite enemy. You have advantage on tracking. Enemy makes it sound so sinister, but you're great at finding where Andy loses his other toys. And hey, Andy, maybe just pick up after yourself sometimes. Seriously. You also get Canny, giving you expertise in a skill you're proficient with. I think animal handling is my favorite. I really like Bullseye. Second level Rangers get a fighting style. Druidic warriors can choose 2 cantrips from the Druid list, like Thorn Whip, making a melee spell attack against a creature, dealing 3d6 piercing damage to those that fail, and yoinking them 10 feet closer to you for a lasso that pulls people in. Resistance gives a creature a d4 to add to their next saving throw, helping you keep the more civilian-esque toys safe. You also get spells as a ranger, like Speak with Animals to speak with animals for 10 minutes, or Animal Friendship, force a wisdom saving throw on a beast, failing that they're charmed by you for 24 hours, making friends with a horse that isn't technically yours, but is the spiritual version of the horse that's connected to you in the fictional world you originally existed in. That's gotta be some kind of magic. Third level Rangers can choose a Ranger Conclave. Beastmaster Rangers get a Primal Companion. The stats are in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, but short version, you can choose a land animal, sky animal, or ocean animal. Land animal is probably the best for a horse. You can command them with your bonus action. It's basically just a way to get a horse, even if your DM doesn't want to give you any towns with stables in them. Sounds like a really unstable campaign. Fourth level Rangers get another ability score improvement, cap off your charisma modifier for maximum charming before you bounce back over to fighter. 11th level fighters get another extra attack, letting you make 3 attacks with your action or up to 6 with an action surge. I'm going to try and make it through a whip build without mentioning Devo, but the fruit is just so low on that tree. I believe in myself. 12th level fighters get another ability score improvement, grab the inspiring leader feat to give up to 6 creatures temporary HP equal to your charisma modifier plus your total level after a rousing 10-minute speech. Woody and Buzz are kind of the only combatants in the group. The rest of Toy Story's team are just commoners. This will let you bring them along without feeling quite as guilty. 13th level fighters get another use of Indomitable. Worth noting, you can use these on death saves. Can you imagine if they killed Woody? Like, what if they just had him riding slowly towards an incinerator, panickedly grabbing at a sea of garbage, heading towards a metaphor for his inevitable obsolescence that's evocative of the inferno of hell? That'd be a cool kids movie. 14th level fighters get another ability score improvement. They get a lot. Cap off your dexterity so you can whip it good. I couldn't do it. I'm only human. 15th level Cavaliers get Ferocious Charger, letting you knock a creature prone if you've moved 10 feet in a straight line and they fail a strength saving throw. It works especially well while mounted, so hop on Bullseye and charge. Our capstone is the 16th level of fighter for one last ability score improvement. Bump your constitution for a little bit better HP. Dying early means less time with Andy after all. Now that we have level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're hard to escape from, with special abilities to lock people down and a horse to run them down if they do escape. You're also great at riding the horse, with plenty of abilities to keep you on the horse and fighting better while riding. Finally, you're loaded with charisma skills and abilities to talk to people and give them extra HP. For weaknesses, Cavaliers use Strength and Constitution, 2 stats we didn't invest in. You're also dependent on your mount, which can be tricky to use in a dungeon. Finally, you have no magical damage, so time-traveling lich children could be an issue, but I don't think you're gonna have to deal with a time-traveling lich child. Why would I even mention that? That sounds like something from a video game, and you're just a down-to-earth cowboy. Ride around, wrap people up, and enjoy the country boy aesthetic. Hopefully, you just don't mind sticking to that as a player, or have a DM that wants to go to space.
I just want you to know that even though you tried to terminate me, revenge is not an idea we promote on my planet. But we're not on my planet, are we?
No. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to fall with style, though obviously these builds are borrowing more from the source material inside the source material, so actual flight as well. Next, we need a spacesuit, some high-tech armor that makes us the coolest toy in the world. Finally, we'll get a laser that's a little bit more than a flashlight. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Intelligence will be number 1. You might be a space ranger, but you're a lot more space than ranger, because you're good at things. Charisma next. Everyone is ready to abandon their cowboy god king for the spaceman god king pretty quickly. Constitution after that, you're made up of plastic. Unlike Woody's cloth aesthetic, it'll take a millennia to kill you. Follow that up with dexterity. In some space games, they use dexterity for spaceship piloting. I think it should be intelligence, but this will cover you either way. Strength is a bit low. Your suit can do most of the work for you and will dump wisdom. Insight checks, bad. Passive perception, bad. Madness saves at tea parties, bad. Custom lineage, good. It's opened up so many potential characters for me and made every existing race infinitely more flexible to use. Wah, wah. It's not creative. Neither is using tomatoes for a pizza sauce, but I don't think Domino's is going to start replacing it with anchovy paste to keep you guessing, dork. Anyway, you get a feat, and we don't really need one. Custom lineage stinks. Grab Warcaster for advantage on concentration saves and the ability to make spell attacks as opportunity attacks as long as they only target one person, and you get the ability to cast spells with somatic components with your hands full. The concentration advantage is our main buff. Boy is going to have some concentration. Bump your intelligence with your 2 free points, take performance for your skill of choice for latent salsa dancing skills, and build a background for athletics and persuasion. It's basically soldier, but nice. For the powers of space, there's no better place than the Artificer face, giving you 2 skills like Arcana and Investigation that should help you scan alien planets without any actual ranger skills. You get a Magical Tinkerer, letting you put tiny magical effects into tiny non-magical items. Pre-recorded messages are pretty common in space. Everyone attacked by a xenomorph gets really into audio diaries right before they die. You get spells and cantrips like Firebolt to shoot a ranged spell attack that deals 1d10 fire damage and lights flammable objects like rockets. Rockets explode! Light creates light for your bad custom lineage eyes. That's the official toy laser, not your cartoon inside the universe Firebolt laser. For your first level spells, Featherfall prevents up to 5 falling creatures from taking falling damage. They're still falling, they're just falling with style. Identify tells you what a magical item is, what it does, and how many charges it has left for a little boopy scanner type thing. But for some magical items of your own, hop over to Artificer level 2 for some infusions. Sending stones are 2 stones you can use sending to communicate between, so you can let Star Command know if you sense any intelligent life. Enhanced Arcane Focus adds 1 to the attack rolls with spellcasting focus, and you can ignore up to half cover for a Firebolt laser that goes around corners. Enhanced Defense adds 1 to the AC of a set of armor for some harder plastic, and a bag of holding can hold up to 500 pounds or 64 cubic feet of material. Obviously, the Buzz Lightyear figure is a gateway. The real money is the stuff that's sold separately. 3rd level Artificers can choose a specialty, and if your whole thing is putting on a suit and never taking it off, Armorer is the way to go. You get Power Armor, which doesn't have any strength requirements, and comes in one of 2 fancy models. I think Infiltrator works best for you since it gives you a laser. Technically, it's lightning, dealing 1d6 lightning damage with an attack as a simple ranged weapon, and you can add a d6 of extra lightning damage to 1 attack per round. You also get advantage on stealth checks or neutral stealth checks if your armor would normally give you disadvantage, and 5 extra feet of movement speed. But maybe you just want to get heavy, and the Guardian model is great at that, letting you give yourself temporary HP equal to your Artificer level as a bonus action, an amount of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus, and you get some Thunder Gauntlets. Those are simple melee weapons that deal 1d8 thunder damage. They also give a creature disadvantage on attacks against creatures that aren't you, so it can be useful for protecting the other toys. Either way, the special weapon uses your intelligence modifier, so it's a good thing you've got the big brain. Armorers also get Magic Missile, a nice homing rocket that deals 1d4 plus 1 damage per shot and shoots 3 beams at a time. They all automatically hit for some advanced targeting technology. 4th level Artificers get an ability score improvement, letting you round up your intelligence and dexterity, even though that'll actually make your dexterity an odd number, and that hurts me, but whatever. It's fine. 5th level armorers get an extra attack, letting you attack twice with your action instead of once. That's pew pew with the lightning launcher and pow pow with the gauntlets. You also get 2nd level spells. Mirror Image is free from the Artificer list, creating holograms that take hits for you. When someone attacks, roll a d20. On a 6 or higher, they hit one of your 3 duplicates. On an 8 or higher, they hit one of 2 duplicates. And on an 11 or higher, they hit your last duplicate. Considering you already have bonkers AC, this is kind of mean. Pyrotechnics lets you make a little rocket explode, either creating a flashbang that forces a constitution saving throw on creatures, blinding them if they fail, or a smoke bomb that heavily obscures the area. I think the flashbang is more in character, but I prefer the smoke personally. 6th level Artificers get Tool Expertise, giving you expertise with the tools you're proficient with. That's Thieves, Tinkerers, Smiths, and one of your choice. Calligraphy will take you to infinity and beyond. You also get 2 more infusions. Resistant Armor gives an armor resistance to acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder damage. Zerg seems to be shooting a lot of lasers, so probably fire or radiant. Spell Refueling Ring lets you recover a spell slot of 3rd level or lower, but for now, you only have 2nd level slots. 7th level Artificers get Flash of Genius, letting you add your intelligence modifier to a creature's ability check or saving throw as a reaction, an amount of times per day equal to your intelligence modifier. Considering you have a literal laser pointer, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to instruct people pretty well. 8th level Artificers get another ability score improvement, cap off your intelligence modifier, giving you maximum flashes, but also maximizing your technological skill. 9th level Armorers get Armor Modification, turning your spacesuit into a bunch of different pieces, a helmet, chest piece, gauntlets, boots, and a weapon. You can also infuse 2 more objects as long as they're part of your suit. It's fine if you don't make infusions for the other party members. Woody is great. He's got, a horse. He's fine. You also get 3rd level spells here, and we could grab Fly, but I'm going to go with Haste, since we'll basically get a way to have both up at the same time next level. Haste doubles your movement speed, adds 2 to your AC, gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, or make 1 attack. Double dashing with extra speed will hit you fly at the speed of light. Lightyear. 10th level artificers are magical item adepts, letting you attune up to 4 magical items at once, and you get 2 more. Winged boots give you a flying speed of 30 feet for a minute at a time for up to 4 hours per day. Some people like to say you should have the fly spell as a backup for when this runs out. 4 hours is 2,400 rounds of combat. Outside of combat, it's 4 hours. If you're flying for 4 hours, will 10 minutes from the fly spell really make a difference? Really? Especially when you could cast haste to double your movement speed and get extra dash actions every round for a maximum of 60 flying speed regularly, 120 feet with your full action, 180 feet if you do nothing but dashing. I pretty regularly end up cutting stuff like this out because I think it makes the videos unnecessarily long, and this is just me preemptively fighting people in the comments. But y'all, I think about this stuff. I do this stuff a lot. Maybe just check your own theory before telling me I'm not dungeoning my dragons properly. Anyway, Cloak of Protection gives you +1 to your AC and saving throws for some cool wings that don't really help you fly. Buzzes don't really help him fly either, so it works out nicely. I'm drinking cold brew right now. 11th level artificers get spell storing item, letting you put a spell of 2nd level or lower into an object that can be then cast out of an object an amount of times per day equal to double your intelligence modifier. Kids don't care about anachronisms. Give the T-Rex a homing laser gun. That sounds cool. 12th level artificers get another ability score improvement or feat. Grab the resilient feat for your dexterity, adding 1 to the score and giving you proficiency with the saving throws. That should help you ride a rocket and not die when it explodes. Wait, do rockets explode? Yes. 13th level artificers get 4th level spells. Freedom of movement stops anything from slowing you down, and you can't be restrained or paralyzed, and can break out of shackles with 5 feet of movement. You can just rip your arm out of the socket with no issue. That's gotta make it hard to tie you up. 14th level artificers are magical item savants to attune up to 5 magical items at once, and you've got some real sousy infusions here. Belt of Hill Giant Strength will jack your strength score up to 21 for some spaceman toughness, or I guess muscle. Amulet of Health would give you the toughness, raising your constitution to 19, which also gives you a ton of HP to stop your plastic from ever breaking down. 15th level armorers get perfected armor, either letting you pull people in with the thunder gauntlets as a reaction when you hit them with an opportunity attack, or you can make people you hit with the lightning launcher glow for advantage on one of your pals' next attacks, and that next attack will deal an extra d6 of lightning damage. Obviously, you need to have multiple versions of yourself. You think Buzz Lightyear is gonna only have one toy? Of course not. We need Stealth Lightyear, Lightyear Mobile, Buzz Lightyear Helicopter, Buzz Lightyear Typewriter, and Buzz Lightyear Can Opener. Get them all together and have them all launch the lightning. 16th level artificers get another ability score improvement. Let's keep working on dexterity, though to be honest, you don't really need it. Your strength, intelligence, and constitution are all capped. Artificers get to be fully busted at the late game. Obviously, it's why you're the world's most popular toy. 17th level artificers can learn 5th level spells. Skill empowerment gives a creature expertise in a skill they're already proficient with, doubling their proficiency bonus to checks of that type for an hour depending on your concentration. You never know what skills you'll need in space, but you've got pretty nice mixtures of options to keep yourself covered. 18th level artificers are magical item masters, allowing you to attune up to 6 magical items at once. You also get 2 more infusions. Ring of Protection adds 1 to your AC and saving throws, like Cloak of Protection, rocking the heaviest armor possible with enhanced defense. That's 22 base AC or 24 with haste up. Even Sid would have trouble getting through that. Helm of Awareness gives you advantage on initiative rolls and immune to being surprised. After the whole existential crisis thing, I would doubt there's much that can surprise you. 19th level artificers get our last ability score improvement. Put it wherever you want. I'll go for charisma for better dance moves. Our capstone is the 20th level of artificer for Soul of Artifice, giving you +1 to your saving throws for every item you're attuned to, +6 for you, and you can ditch one of your accessories to stay at 1 HP instead of hitting 0 HP the first time you should. We do 20 level artificer a lot because the capstone is just so good, but we can talk about that in the pros section. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, your stats are comically strong, with great ability scores in everything but wisdom. That makes your saving throws incredible, with 3 saving throw proficiencies, +6 to all of them from Soul of Artifice, meaning that even wisdom is a +5. Finally, you basically have a permanent flying speed and can make that even bigger with haste. For weaknesses, your wisdom checks are bad. I guess it's hard to smell the roses with a giant plastic helmet on. You're also not really pumping out a lot of damage, which shouldn't be a huge issue in the Toy Story campaign, but could be bad in the Kingdom Hearts Dark Souls finale. Finally, a bunch of your spells are concentration, so you'll have to pick and choose, but it turns out toys are just better with accessories. If you want to be the top of the line, coolest toy of all time, Buzz Lightyear. If you want to be a cowboy, Woody, I guess. Remember, D&D isn't about playing the best character, it's about playing the best version of your character. A simple cowboy could be a lot of fun. Or you could be an invincible space god. I could see that getting lots of love. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We're making double videos every day this month. Join the Patreon for these cheats and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.